Play constructs itself as a temporary activity, satisfying in itself and ending there. Such at least is the way in which play presents itself to us in the first instance, as an interlude in our daily lives. As a regular recurring relaxation, however, it becomes the accompaniment or complement, in fact, an integral part of life in general. It adorns life, amplifies it, and is so, to that extent, a necessity both for the individual as a life function and for society by reason of the meaning it contains, its significance, its expressive values, its spiritual and social associations, in short, as a cultural function. It is distinct from ordinary life, both as a locality and duration. This is the third main characteristic of play, its secludedness, its limitedness. It is played out within certain limits of time and place. It contains its own course and meaning, and then at a certain movement it is over. All play moves and has its beginning within a playground, marked off beforehand either materially or ideally, deliberately or as a matter of course. Just as there is no formal difference between play and ritual, so the consecrated spot cannot be formally distinguished from the playground. The arena, the card table, the magic circle, the temple, the stage, the screen, the tennis court, the court of justice, etc. are all in form and function playgrounds, i.e. forbidden spots, isolated, hedged around, hollowed within, with special rules obtained. All are temporary worlds within the ordinary world, dedicated to the fulfillment of an act. Inside the playground, an absolute and peculiar order reigns. Here we come across another very positive feature of play. It creates order in an imperfect world, and into the confusion of life it brings a temporary, a limited perfection. Play demands order, absolute order. The least deviation from it spoils the game, robs it of its character, and makes it worthless. The profound affinity between play and order is perhaps the reason why play, as we noted in passing, seems to lie to such a large extent in the field of aesthetics. Play has a tendency to be beautiful. It may be that this aesthetic factor is identical with the impulse to create orderly form, which animates play in all its aspects. The word we use to denote the elements of play belong for the most part to aesthetics, terms with which we try to describe the effects of beauty, tension, poise, balance, contrast, variation, solution, resolution, etc. Play casts a spell over us. It is enchanting, captivating. It is invested with the noblest qualities. We are capable of perceiving in things rhythm and harmony. Element of tension in play, to which we have just referred, plays a particularly important part. Tension means uncertainty, chanciness, a striving to decide the issue, and so end it. The player wants something to go to, come off, he wants to succeed. Perhaps this is the reason as to why there are those of us who will spend hours on end trying to complete a video game, to get that last achievement, or to grind to the next level in World of Warcraft and other such games, as the player strives to accomplish something by their own exertions. For example, a baby reaching for a toy, a cat patting a bobbin, a little girl playing ball. They all want to achieve something difficult, succeed, to end a tension. Play is tense, as we say. It is this element of tension and solution that covers all solitary games of skill and applications such as puzzles, jigsaws, mosaic making, patience, target shooting, and for more, play bears the character of competition, as it is a means of testing the player's prowess. Their courage, tenacity, resources, and fairness. Because despite his ardent desire to win, he must stick to the rules of the game. These rules, in their turn, are a very important factor in the play concept. Play and rules. All play has its rules. They determine what holds in the temporary world circumscribed by play. The rules of the game are absolute, binding, and allow no doubt. Paul Vary once, in a passing, gave expression to a very cogent thought when he said, "No skepticism is possible where the rules of a game are concerned, for the principle underlying them is an unshakable truth." Indeed, as soon as the rules are transgressed, the whole play world collapses. The game is over. The umpire's whistle breaks the spell and sets real life going again. Player who trespasses against the rules or ignores them is a spoil sport. The spoil sport is not the same as a force player, the cheat, for the latter pretends to be playing the game. It is curious to note how much more lenient society is to a cheat than to the spoil sport. This is because the spoil sport shatters the play world itself. By withdrawing from the game, he reveals the relativity and fragility of the play world, in which he had temporarily shut himself with others. He robs play of its illusion, therefore he must be cast out, for he threatens the existence of a play community. The figure of a spoil sport is most apparent in boys' games. The little community does not inquire whether the spoil sport is guilty of defection because he dares not enter into the game, or because he is not allowed to. Rather, it does not recognize not being allowed and calls it not daring. For the problem of obedience and conscience is no more than the fear of punishment. Question: have you ever cheated or spoiled a game for someone else? If so, what do you think are the reasons why you did it? Question: do you play video games online? If so, what is your opinion of those who disconnect during a session? If you have done this yourself, then let me ask you, what motivated you to do so? Was it an accident, or did you do it on purpose? I shall now leave you with the following quote, which I believe best sums up the concept of play and video games. God alone is worthy of supreme seriousness, but man is made God's plaything, and that is the best part of him. Therefore every man and woman should live life accordingly, and play the noblest games, and be of another mind from what they are at present, for they deem war a serious thing, for in war there is no play. Hence all must live in peace, as well as they possibly can. What then is the right way of living? Life must be lived as play, playing certain games, making sacrifices, singing and dancing, and then man will be able to procreate for God and defend himself against his enemies and win in any contest. Thank you for listening, and I hope this podcast has shed some light into the nature of play and video games.